Brave Warrior's Lesson. A Native American Tale. By Sally Cowan. Illustrated by Joseph Chu. Chapter 1. The Warrior Comes Back. There was once a brave warrior. He had been away from his people for many years, and had just come back to his village. The people wanted to know what he had been doing all that time, so he told them about the people he had met, and the animals he had hunted. Each story was more exciting than the last, but after a while, the warrior began to boast. "No warrior is braver than me," he shouted, "and no hunter is stronger. There is no one in the world who would dare to disobey me." A young woman stepped out of her wigwam. "I know someone who will not obey you," she said. "He does whatever he wants." The warrior looked at her in surprise. "Well," he said, "who is he? He must be as tall as a giant." "No," said the woman, "he is not very tall." "Is he stronger than a buffalo?" he asked. "Oh, no," she laughed. "He is not very strong." "Then he must know magic," said the warrior. "No," said the woman, "he doesn't know any magic." "Well, take me to him," he said. "Then we will see if he is so brave as to disobey me." The woman turned toward her wigwam. "Come," she said, "please follow me." "What?" said the warrior. "Does he live in this village?" The woman nodded, and showed the warrior into her home. Chapter 2. The Baby. The warrior looked around the wigwam, but he could only see a small baby sitting on a rug. The baby was happily playing with a little toy. "Well, where is he?" asked the warrior, who was getting quite annoyed. The woman pointed to her baby. "There he is," she said. The warrior laughed. "Ah, this is a joke," he said. "No, not at all," the woman said. "I think that my baby will not obey you." Now, the woman knew that the warrior had never had to look after a baby, and he did not know what babies were like. The warrior rolled his eyes. "Very well, then," he said. "This will be easy." He knelt down on one knee and smiled at the baby. "Come here, little one," he said gently. "Come to me." But the baby didn't look up and went on playing with his toy. The warrior had another idea. He began to whistle some beautiful bird calls. "Oh, what lovely bird calls," said the woman. "But my baby doesn't seem to notice them." She was right. The baby went on playing with his toy. The warrior looked at the woman in surprise. "Why won't your baby come to me? Can't he hear me?" he asked. The woman just smiled. "Come here, baby," he said in a louder voice. But when the warrior leaned forward and spoke, the baby dropped the toy and started to cry. Chapter 3. A Lesson. The warrior had one last idea. He began to sing in a soft, kind voice. The baby stopped crying, gave a big yawn, and closed his eyes. The song had made him sleepy. The warrior felt very foolish. He knew now that he should not have boasted. He quietly stood up and walked out of the wigwam. The woman picked up her sleepy baby. "The warrior has learned a lesson today," she whispered, as she placed the baby in his little bed. "Even brave warriors can't have everything their own way."